Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network. Hey, welcome back, everybody. This is for anyone who considers themselves a leader, and that could be you if you own a business. You're in charge of a team. Maybe you're the head of a sales department, whatever it might be. We're going to talk about your strengths and with that also potentially weaknesses and some of the challenges that leaders face. And she is somebody that has provided so much insight every time we've gotten together on mental fitness. She's an amazing coach in many different levels, and it's wonderful to have her back here. Her goal is to help you thrive. Thrive Coaching and Consulting is the name of her company. Carey is here. How you doing today?
I'm great. I'm good.
Wonderful to have you back here. You're the professional of the year in this arena. And when we talk about strengths, do you want to look at some of the strengths a leader should have for the best outcome?
Absolutely. We've all experienced leaders that have not been so great. And often we don't stay in those jobs. A leader really needs to have empathy, as an example, compassion. They need to be they have humility. They also need to be respectful. I don't know about you, but I at one time had a leader who was not very respectful to their staff. And consequently, those people walked on eggshells. And the first opportunity they got, they left. I think, when you're a leader, you don't have to have all the answers. A lot of leaders feel like, oh, if I'm a leader, I need to know everything. And that's so not true. Really successful leaders surround themselves with people who have the skills that they don't have. And also, especially today, in today's world, people want to continue to grow in their jobs. And they want to be able to be creative and innovate. So you want really a leader who allows you the ability to do that trusts you, that you can have faith in them to know that if you make a mistake, that you're not going to get fired. Because really, if you're not making mistakes, you're probably not learning. And if you're not learning, you're getting bored. And if you're getting bored, you're not going to do your job very well. And you're probably looking for another job.
Thank you for sharing that. And I do believe we had the same leader at one point, the one you referred to. Yes, the eggshell situation. I vividly recall this person touting open door policy. Come in anytime you want. We can talk. And anytime that you were called into the office, it was so uncomfortable. I think this person had good intentions, but going to be honest, they had a huge ego. And I'm a team player. I know that's a cliche, but yeah, it's not about me. I don't care who scores a touchdown. Just let's all get it done. I don't know why they put the offices in the corners of buildings, the corner pocket as they call them. But yes, it was in the corner pocket, and it was just never a comfortable situation. And years later, not into detail, but he did reveal himself that he really wasn't for the team. He was all out for himself, and then he was gone. And I have a partner, and this is to your point. I've known him for years. He's a sales leader, and we were talking about somebody we recently hired, very recently. And he said, yeah, I'm going to call him and give him some feedback. And I was afraid, I don't want to rock their boat. They just started, right? And he said, you know what? If they're a true salesperson, if they're on their game, they want the feedback. They are waiting for the feedback. And also, it's how you deliver it. So that being said, what is the best way to deliver feedback as a leader? when you got to deliver it to your team?
Well, I think, first of all, you have to sort of set the stage. And one of the things in setting the stage is that you need to look at yourself and make sure that you're not saying, I'm the smartest one in the room.
Mm-hmm.
Because many leaders think that way. And if you think that way and convey that to your staff, they're never going to feel comfortable, because no matter how good their idea is, it's not going to be good enough.
Mm.
So really building that trust with your team and letting them know that you are just like they are, in the sense that we make mistakes. We all make mistakes. And a leader needs to be able to say to their team, I messed up. And this is what I did. And maybe even say to them, if you see me going down this path again, please say something to me. If you had a leader like that, how would you feel as a staff member?
I'd feel they were real. I would feel that they are one of us. And I'm getting a visual from what you just said, the delicate balance. Think of the parent. The parent knows they have to be the parent, but they also want to be a friend to their child. But it's a delicate balance, because you never want to be too much of a friend, because that's not your job as a parent. But I see this, the parallels here as a leader, where you want them to think that you are on their level and you're genuine about it. That's key. As, an equal. We're all in this together. You just happen to have some more skills as a leader, maybe some more knowledge, maybe some more tools. That delicate balance. Does that make sense? And is that what we should strive for?
Oh, absolutely. And I think the other thing that's really key is that, and you mentioned it already, is that you need to, as a leader, let your staff know that you're there for the big picture. You're not there for yourself.
Mm-hmm.
You're there to help them and for the vision of the organization or the business.
Yeah.
And I think that's key. You're not showing that it's all about me. It's how big a paycheck I can go home with.
Yeah.
It's how many staff I can show that I'm the boss. And I can, be mean or let them go, showing they're like, I'm in charge. If you find yourself in that kind of situation, I'd say run.
The one I was referring to, which I think we had the same leader, that was that person. And I always felt like that was dad. I'm getting called into the office. I'm in trouble for something. I wasn't, but that was the feeling it was. Even if it was a conversation of, how we can improve a situation, whatever it might be, it never felt that that was that way. It was like, dad wants to talk to me again. and it wasn't just me. Everybody said the same exact thing. And two leaders after him, it was what you're describing, where that individual is, and he's still in this position, and I actually work with him in some regards now in a different capacity, but he is curious. He admits that he doesn't know everything. He wants to hear.
Yay.
Right? And he's the one that might even say, you know what, meet me for a beer. Let's talk about that. That's how, maybe that's a good idea. Maybe we can work on that together.
Wow.
And you look forward to going, because you feel like you're communicating with a peer, but he has a level of stature within the organization.
Right. Right. That's great. I have an example of that I had myself was in a group, a team, and I was new to the job. And my first meeting was a brainstorming session with the leader and our team members. And he said all the right things. There's no wrong answers. We're going to collaborate on this.
Mm-hmm.
Well, for every single suggestion that people made, he found a reason not to accept that idea. It was a bad idea. And in the end, the only idea that was on the whiteboard was the one he made.
That hurts.
Yeah. And you could look around at the room and just see the team members, the staff, they were not engaged. They were not there. They had been through this before. They knew the lay of the land. I was new. And I left thinking, oh my gosh, what have I done?
Right. Thank you for that example. The last leader I was referring to, the one that was approachable, he changed that feedback situation whereby everybody on the team would get in the conference room and they'd have multiple whiteboards or, those big pads up there. And no idea was a bad idea. Everyone that somebody threw out somebody would write it down. And sometimes they were goofy, and funny, but they would have everybody vote on them. And sometimes one would blend into, yeah, this is a good idea. Well, this is a good idea. What about if we put two together? Whoa, we got an even bigger idea. And it was, I wasn't part of that company anymore, but as a client of that company now, I sat in on one of those brainstorming sessions. It was so much fun.
Yeah. The kind of brainstorming I'm used to doing is really what they taught me through mental fitness, is that everybody's idea is good, but what you do is you say, yes, and what I like about this idea is this, and it made me think of something else that is a good idea.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So, sort of the same kind of thing, but that gives everyone the opportunity to share, and no one feels like, oh my gosh, that was such a stupid idea.
Or you're on the fence, you have an idea, your intuition tells you, this is really good, but you're afraid to share it because you don't want to be cut down. So absolutely. I want to flip this around. Not the leader who knows it all, not the leader that, dejects everybody's ideas. What if you're a leader that is suffering quietly inside from imposter syndrome? Let's say you've been elevated in the last year or so, and deep down inside, you're thinking to yourself, I don't know if I'm cut out for this. I love this job in a lot of ways, but I'm not really sure if I'm a leader, if I'm doing the right thing with everybody. And you're walking on your own eggshells. How do you deal with that?
Okay, first of all, I think that even a successful leader has moments when they have self-doubts about themselves. And from a mental fitness standpoint, if you think about those voices that are in your head, those are all saboteurs. And if you can recognize that, because what you're saying is that the people who hired you didn't know what they were doing.
Oh.
And I feel certain that they probably did. You obviously have some skills that this organization or business needs. Now, you don't have to have all the answers. So if you can set aside those negative emotions and really look at what are the gifts that I have, that I know I have, and that I'm comfortable with, and share those, and look at opportunities that I may have because I don't have all the answers. Does that make sense?
It does. It does. And I'm getting visuals in my mind. This is one of your superpowers where you make us think about situations, whether we're a leader or not. And what I take away from what you just said is that where you think you may be inadequate, use that as an opportunity. So if you don't know the answer, be genuine and say, I don't know the answer. Because not every leader is expected to have, like you said. And usually the ones that think they have all the answers.
Absolutely. So the opportunity in that scenario is to get your team brainstorming about how do we handle this situation? I'm not sure. I have a couple different ideas and thoughts, but I'm not sure if they're right. So let's brainstorm and let's see how we can figure this out together.
Mm. It brings to mind that a leader is only as strong as their team.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah, I think we forget that. You know,
No,
the visual
absolutely.
is a leader is like, I'm the leader, I'm in charge, I'm throwing orders and ideas out at.
Yeah, those kind of leaders are never really successful.
Hmm.
They may themselves think they're successful, but if you look at turnover, or if you did a 360 evaluation on them, where you had staff, community members, etc., doing a questionnaire or being interviewed, you might find that they are not very well respected.
You just brought back or brought to my mind in real time something very clear. And I didn't even put this together. The person I was referring to, where we were joking around, we had the same leader. That person is now leading a division of another company. I work with this company. I'm their client. The people that work underneath this person make many mistakes and are careless, as if they don't even care. And I never put the two together because when I worked with this person back in the day, it was in a different capacity. But now I'm seeing it. They're still a leader, different situation, different company, different division, all of that. But most of the people that work underneath this person are making mistakes left and right all day long. I see them. I have to deal with them. And to me, that says the employees, they don't care. They're just, showing up for the paycheck.
That's right. They don't care because their leader doesn't care.
Apparently.
And they know that.
And they know that.
And the thing of it is that if you want to get staff who go over and above, you need to they need to respect you as a leader.
Mm-hmm.
And that means so many different things. I mean, we talked about it, but it's also like one of the things that often comes up with my clients are the idea around how much can I share? Am I trying to think of the word? Oh, it's not coming to me, but it's basically how much do you tell your staff about who you are?
I'm wondering how deep we're going here. When you say about who you are and such, is that personal details? Is that your personal, no, without going too deep, but, some of the challenges you have, some of the struggles, et cetera?
Yes. I mean, you can't, I would never say to someone I was coaching that you need to just as a leader, lay it all out.
Right.
I'm getting a divorce, they don't really want to know that.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, because then they feel like, oh my gosh, how can this person lead us? Their life is a mess.
Right.
But when I'm saying this, I'm talking about, being honest about having self-doubt, not always having all the answers. And at times, if you're having a major struggle in your life, like perhaps like I have right now, my mom is going into memory care. And she doesn't even know most of the time I'm her daughter. And that's sort of sad. Sure. It's not sort of, it is sad. But it does affect me. So I might share some of that with the staff, saying, sometimes I feel don't seem like I'm right here. That's what's going on in my life. And I'm managing it, just so you know.
Is it, and I'm sorry you're going through that, is it let's say you're a leader, let's say one of your team members comes to you and you're just having a conversation. Maybe they took yesterday off, they need tomorrow off, whatever it might be. And they reveal to you, I'm going through a divorce right now and I have a court date. Maybe that's what it is.
Okay.
As a leader, if you're dealing with that, maybe you're in the middle of a divorce situation, should you share that as a show of empathy? Hey, I get where you're coming from, dealing with the same thing, so I understand. And leave it at that. Don't need to go into any details, whether it's an easy divorce. Don't need to, just say I get where you're coming from,
Right.
and just leave it at that. Is that okay?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Hmm.
Because then you let them know I'm human.
Right.
I'm going through, or I have gone through similar circumstances. Then all of a sudden, that staff member feels like, wow, they understand me. They get it.
Yeah.
And you want your staff, that's part of the respect, is to be able to be there for them
Hmm.
and give them, a little leeway when something like that is going on in their life.
I think it goes back to that delicate balance of the parent and the friend, where in that situation you want to delicately balance that. Well, as a leader, you want to delicately balance the fact that you are a leader, but you're human, but you don't want to give up too much, because you don't want them to appear to be Superman. We all have stuff. You want them to know that you're going through stuff, but you don't want them to know so much that they may look at you like, oh, Mike, our boss, he's a train wreck. He's falling apart and he doesn't even know it.
Exactly.
It's a delicate balance, it sounds like.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Hmm. It's not easy being a leader, is it?
No, it's not. But I love it.
Mm.
And I love it because I love to see my staff or employees, get excited about an idea that they have. And I love to see them grow.
Mm.
It's exciting. And I feel like, oh, I played a little part of that, helping that happen. And that's a great feeling. And
Karen,
to me, that's what it's all about.
that I was just going right there. Would you say that as a leader, when you feel that you're connected with your team, you just have that connection and the synergy just feels right, but you feel connected to them, as opposed to walking on eggshells, corner pocket, meet me at 2. What does that feel like?
Oh, it's wonderful.
Hmm.
You feel fulfilled.
Yeah. Okay. There's a
You
great
feel
word.
like, oh my gosh, what can I do to help this person feel even greater?
Yeah.
It's just, and you're not going to leave your job when you have an atmosphere like that, and you have a team that is, going above and beyond, and you're really making progress with whatever your mission or your goal is. Why would you leave? Unless you find yourself burning out, because that is what can happen with a leader who's so excited about their job that they tend to forget about taking care of themselves,
Mm-hmm.
because they're so busy taking care of everyone else and supporting them that they forget about managing their own needs.
I want to share in closing here, to illustrate what you just said, a text from 2 hours ago to somebody I haven't talked to in a long time. And I reconnected, with business connected for a moment. And he works for a company. And he says, yeah, I'm out. I'm working from home for the rest of the week. And for what he does, I was kind of surprised. I said, oh, you're working from home? Here's his answer. I try not to, but this place is the zombie apocalypse. Work ethic isn't what it used to be. This is not the person I knew. Things must have changed in this company, because he was
Uh,
rah-rah cheerleader, loved everything. He doesn't want to be there. So apparently there's a problem at the top. That's what I detect. Yeah.
exactly.
This is real, in real time. Can't make it up. Wow. I want to
It's
share.
life.
There's reality. There's how not to do it. I want to
Right.
share with everybody, along with your coaching and consulting, You have a specialty, and that is working with nonprofits. And
Absolutely.
I don't know anybody else that does what you do for nonprofits, but that's just a piece of you. You can work with anybody. Karen, what's the best way to connect with you?
They can email me at Carey, Carey, @charter.net. And we'll set up a time to talk and see, if I'm a good fit and if you're really understand what coaching is all about.
And understand what leadership is all about. Just saying.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
Just saying. Wonderful having you here. I know that you're going to be away for a little while, so when are you leaving for your trip?
Next Wednesday at 6:30 a.m.
Oh my gosh. Have a wonderful time.
I will.
Take lots of pictures and we'll catch up when you get back.
I will.
Appreciate
it. Take care.
Thanks, Carey. We'll be right back.
Bye-bye.
Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network.
Hi, this is Terry Crews, actor, former football player, game show host, father of 5, and all-around big dude. I'm also an expert on drama. I know all kinds of drama. There's the good kind that comes with having a house full of kids. There's the bad kind like season-ending injuries. There's the necessary kind like having an agent in Hollywood. And there's silly drama like the drama around my percolating pectorals. And then there's the drama you can skip.
Skip the drama that comes with not having your high school diploma or equivalency. Find free adult education classes near you and finish your high school diploma. Visit finishyourdiploma.org.
Or text diploma to 97779. Message and data rates may apply. Reply STOP to opt out. That's diploma to 97779. And leave the drama to actors like me.
Brought to you by the Dollar General Literacy Foundation and the Ad Council.